she's got some good stuff to share with us. And I'm working on some really good speakers coming up. So we're excited about that. I'm excited about it. I don't know if you guys will be or not, but I think it'll be really good. Some of the folks I've been talking to, and I'm hoping to get on here. So aside from that, let's do this. Let's go around the horn just a little bit. Now, you guys all know that we have enough of us joining now that I usually raise hands and do that kind of stuff, and so we can get to it. But if Lara jumps on, I'm going to jump right away to her because of her timing today, and it's important for us, I think. So in the meantime, I want to kind of go around the horn a little bit here and talk to some folks and just see how it's going. And so, Evan, I haven't talked to you in a little while, buddy. How are you doing?
Things are doing well. Aside from right now, my computer seems to be completely frozen, but I can hear everything you're saying. And can you see me? Am I?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose things have been going fairly well. I guess I haven't been doing anything particularly new except scouting out maybe some potential jobs in the future, but mostly remote stuff for that matter. Otherwise, applying for jobs is really hard when you've then had a stroke, and it's just organizing all that stuff and getting it together. Fortunately, my wife is helping me out with that, and I owe a lot to her for that. So always get the help that you need when you can. It's one of those things. I'm very lucky.
How old are you, bud?
Oh, me? I'm 39.
39. Yeah, so you're a young guy and you got a lot ahead of you. So I'm really glad to hear that you're working on that stuff, and you seem to be getting better all the time. You look good and sound good.
The beard helps.
Thanks a lot. Everybody on this call probably knows that I can't even grow a beard. It drives me crazy. I try sometimes, but I still look funny when I do. Let's see, what is this? Janice. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Let me try to make sure I see everybody. Let me get the chat open. Okay, so she's watching. Janice is just able to watch. We're so glad you're here, though, Janice. I hope you can hear us all right, and it's going well. And until Lara comes on, we're gonna just jump around a little bit here. I'm assuming Lara is gonna get on here, so I know she's really busy at work. So let's see. I'm just gonna kind of go around real quick here. I want to pick on somebody that. There's Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca, how are you?
Good.
Good. It's good to see you.
I'm new.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, it's kind of an ongoing thing you'll find. And Rebecca had her stroke not that long ago. Rebecca, take 3 minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself, would you?
Oh gosh. Life's completely changed upside down. They took away my driver's license. I've not been happy about that. I'm 63. I didn't expect this to happen. And yeah, now they want me to see a hematologist. They want to put me on some even stronger blood thinners, which I'm not crazy about. But I can work right now, and I'm just dealing with this the best I can.
Well, it's good to have you on here, and I want you to know this is a safe place for you. Okay. Now, you guys, we all know that I do record these, and then Gabby sends them out because it's important for us to give hope to others out there that are going through the same thing. So I hope everybody's okay with that. But, just like you're saying, Rebecca, it's a tough battle, and we all know it. We've been through a lot of it ourselves, and you're doing, you look good, you sound good. I think you're going to look back and say, I worked hard and I got there. So
I was able
keep
to
up.
get on the stepladder today. I don't know if I should, but I did.
That a way to push yourself.
Yeah.
My boss
Oh.
doesn't allow me.
That's actually good to hear. You know, it sounds like you're doing all right. And did you ever, did anybody reach out to you by chance from when I talked to you?
Not yet.
Okay, I'll follow up on that. There's a few things, and Steve Van Houten is sitting here, and Steve is the head of our group that we got started, the peer-to-peer group. And he and I talked a little bit about your situation, not very much. He was out of town. And I reached out to one of the gals to try to get them to help talk with you and stuff, but you can always reach out to me. And I'll ask Steve first, but I'll share Steve's email with you and stuff as we go. Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Keith.
Okay. Because
I
Steve
also, if she wanted to reach out to me, then we can get her taken care of.
Oh, that's awesome, Gabby. So I will email you guys. Let me make myself a note, so that, you know, we get you some help around Bend, because that's important. So, okay.
Did you get one of our books?
Lost you guys. Hang on a second. I gotta get back on again. Somehow my left hand that doesn't work well touched my computer and now I'm gone. So hang on.
Okay.
We can talk later, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Laurel, how are you?
Hi guys, I wanted to introduce myself. I'm in Eugene and I was going to the stroke group here in Eugene and then found out about you all. So your time works a little bit better with my schedule. I woke up with my left side paralyzed on Thanksgiving Day, and that was quite a surprise because I had just hiked the South Sister a month before. Luckily, I had a young man living with me, and I said, something's wrong. I think I have a pinched nerve. I'm dragging my foot, to the kitchen to get coffee because that's how much I need coffee in the morning. And totally did not realize that I had a stroke in the middle of the night. Only because I'm one of the healthiest people anybody's ever met. I have like nothing, like my blood pressure is perfect, my cholesterol's everything. So who knows? I suspect it was the medication, the diclofenac that they had been giving me for a year and a half, which I read online has like a 50% chance of stroke and heart attack. So didn't read the black box label warning, probably should have. Next time I will. But yeah, possibly a malpractice suit, but I'm not going to, it's fine. It happened. I can't go after it, whatever. But I had just finished my degree to become a marriage and family therapist 3 weeks before. So I say that I'm really happy that my clot decided to travel on the right side of my brain and not the left side of my brain, because I use my cognition and my speech all day long with couples and kids. And hope to use it with surviving stroke clients in the future. That's one of the areas that I really want to work with is couples and how to kind of navigate intimacy as we have found ourselves in kind of a different way of being able to relate with each other, either physically or verbally. So yeah, so I guess in some ways I say that it's a blessing, even though a lot of days I think of it as a curse when my foot decides it wants to keep dropping and my hyperextension happens. But I'm mostly, as you can see, my hand works pretty good. They kicked me out of OT like after about a month and a half or so, but PT kept me for a little bit longer. I am feeling like I'm having some regression in terms of my walking is not as good as it was. So I'm not sure why that is. I hike a lot, but I've kind of the last couple of months have been, I don't know. It just something feels like it's shifting and not as good as I was doing for a while there. So, but I'm grateful that I can be sitting here with all of you. I am honored to be here with all of you, and you are my new people. So,
well, thank you so much, Laurel. And frankly, I would like your personal email. How did you hear about SAO in this meeting?
Victoria from the Peace Health group told me about you guys. She passed it along to our group.
Okay, great.
Just for additional support. I don't have your book, so if there's some book or something I just heard, I would love to have whatever you all have.
Okay,
We
so can you, do
I
you have
can
a
put it in the
short?
chat.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
We appreciate that. Gabby, would you please make sure I get a copy of that, please? So I will follow up with you personally and make sure you get a book and all that stuff. Lane?
Laurel, welcome to the group. We'd be thrilled to give you a copy of our book called Just Say Yes to Life. I think it's going to really resonate with you personally and the work you do. So if you'll just give us a mailing address, we are very happy to give you one, and we'll pop in the mail tomorrow.
thank you
Awesome.
very much, Lonnie.
Awesome. Awesome. Laura still isn't. Oh, wait. Oh, no. Laura is not on here. I don't know if, she's a nurse. And so she probably got sidetracked, of course, at the hospital. Arnie, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, Laurel, my name is Arnie. I'm from St. Louis. I had the same issues after my stroke. Matter of fact, I just went to see my psychiatrist this afternoon, and I was talking to her about the exact same thing, because I was starting to notice that my left leg just wasn't responding like it used to. And I was asking her, I said, doc, can I regress in my physical recovery? And she goes, Arnie, no. Once you had it and once you recovered, you can't regress. Your brain doesn't work that way. So I'm wondering if it wasn't up here what I was thinking about, because I know I've been worried about regressing, both with my left hand and my left leg, because I've been doing so well, Laurel, and I've been worried about going back. So I'm just wondering, if it's not up here, what you're thinking, because I really started thinking of, is it up in my head? And if, because I just been really concerned about it. And, but what she told me is it kind of just put my mind at ease.
So Laurel, I know you want to answer, but I have to say something here. And you guys probably get sick and tired of hearing me talk about this, but and I see Lonnie laughing over there. But, Arnie is absolutely right. You can and will get better, but you have to decide you're going to get better, and you have to decide you're going to work at it. These things don't happen just because, and you've got to make that choice. And you may take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, and on, but you've got to keep moving forward. And one of the things that I profess and I talk a lot about is we've got to make sure that everybody is journaling or writing or recording on your phone, whatever you can do, okay, so that you can see progress. And it's when you see that progress that's going to motivate you to continue on and to keep getting better. When I had my stroke, they told me it's only going to be good for about a year and a half. It's as good as it's going to get. And my business partners were in that meeting with me. And guess what? A year and a half later, I was let go of my own company. So here's the thing. They've proven now that that is not the case. So you just keep working at it. Keep working at it. Who wants to say something? Come on.
Keith, I just wanted to say thank you. And also to say, Arnie, it's definitely not in my head, because I have people that have seen it and they've said, oh yeah, your foot drop is really bad again. And I was like, I know. So I've started wearing my brace again, but I'm not doing my PT. So you guys, it's true. I've got to get back to doing my physical therapy. I was on a really good track with that, and I dropped it. So
yeah,
I'll get back there.
William,
Laura, let me ask you a question.
Wait,
Have you been doing a lot of exercising lately with your legs?
Arnie, just a second, buddy. I'm so sorry,
Okay.
but William,
I'm not trying to be rude.
We'll come back to you.
This is my 3rd meeting and I haven't got to introduce myself yet. It's crazy.
You haven't?
No.
I thought we talked to you, but go ahead, buddy.
No, you didn't. Nobody's talked to me. Nobody's asked me a question, what happened or anything.
Well, come on
I'm
ahead.
trying to
bud.
butt in and everybody just keeps cutting off.
Come on ahead. You got the floor, bud.
I'm upset now. Jeez.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We will come back and we'll ask you, William. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave the meeting. I made an ass of myself at this
Oh,
point.
William,
No, you
wait,
haven't.
wait,
No,
William,
you
wait.
haven't.
don't leave, William.
No, listen, bud. We're all. I think he's gone. Did he leave?
Yeah.
All
he-
right. So Arnie, go ahead, bud. What were you gonna say?
So Laurel, one thing, when I started noticing that my leg was kind of just not where it used to be, I found out, what I was doing is I was playing football with my grandkids and I was chasing them down like crazy and just found out that I haven't used my legs in a long time like that. And I was just sore as hell. So, and I just figured out that I'm 60 years old and I just can't run after 5 and 6 year olds like I used to.
Yeah.
Jim has his hand raised.
Jim, go ahead, buddy.
I just wanted to offer this encouragement to everyone that whatever we demand of our brain can supply. And it really becomes a matter of our want to. That is the key. It's our want to. And Laurel, if you've noticed that physically your body's not responding the way it used to, it's really a lot about demanding more of your brain, and your brain can supply it. And I will say that physical therapy and getting back to that will be a significant help to you.
Now thank you, Jim. Very good. Steve Van Houten.
Yeah, I have just a quick thing to say about what just happened here, about making an ass of ourselves. How many, and I can't see your hands, but how many of you since your stroke have made an ass of yourself?
Multiple times.
Okay, well, let me tell you, it seems to be, it seems to go with with having a stroke.
Oh, I disagree. I made an ass of myself before my stroke.
Yeah, I have done that many times.
I was just gonna say,
Me
that
too.
if you were an ass before your stroke, the stroke makes you worse.
So take that, Mark. Thank you, Steve. That's right on the money. And that's one of the first times that's ever happened. And I thought for sure that I had talked to him before, and I apologize if I've missed it. But we do the best we can, and we appreciate all of you so much. And I think we have a pretty good group here that come. And so anyway, we'll move on. Who had something else? And I'm so sorry because our speaker just didn't. I'm sure she's just busy and didn't get a chance to get on. So
Hey,
we'll
Keith,
get her
we
sent.
like each other. It's just fine. We can all talk.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I have one quick thing to mention to Laurel. And so my stroke was 8 years ago. The one thing that I do know about stroke bodies, and especially legs, if you ever get like a minor, like a blister on your foot that you think is nothing, or last week I had an irritation on my shoulder. Nothing. I just, put cream on it. But that can cause your stroke leg to react differently. And I think I'm actually thinking, Keith, I'd love sometime to get a speaker to talk about that, because I've had that happen a number of times. And then I was upset about it because I was noticeably walking different. But when that little irritation healed, I was fine again.
Awesome.
Our
Thank
bodies
you.
react differently after stroke.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. And Lonnie, I'll reach out to you on that, and we can kind of get a little bit more in tune to what it is, and I'll find a speaker to do this. Now, as a lot of you know, and some of you don't, okay, we have speakers about every other time. Sometimes we'll get them 2 or 3 times in a row because that's their schedules. I reach out pretty far and I get some, what I believe are, I mean, we get some pretty good speakers to join us and help us. I have recordings of everything. If anybody wants some recordings of past meetings, Rebecca?
Yes.
Okay. You know, I don't like to send more than a couple at a time because they're, you know, they're an hour long usually. But reach out to me. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. Oh, Ralph, go ahead.
The Stroke Warrior meetings are also on Stroke Warrior Radio at 3 o'clock every day.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Oh,
They're all scattered about different dates, but they're there.
okay. So Ralph, tell us real quick, how do we get on there? I mean, I've got it right in front of me, but please.
The very easiest way is to go on the website at strokewarriorradio.com and just click on the tune in button.
And at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock every day is a Stroke Warrior meeting from the past year.
Ralph, what else is on there?
Oh, we got Stroke Forward at 5 o'clock. That's Marie, Marsha Moran's website. We got the Rosin Clay show at 9 and 2. We've got Steve for vocational rehab a couple of days a week. We've got Strength After Stroke on the weekends and twice a week. And then we've got a new show coming up called Space Between from Molly Bacola, which is an incredible show. It's an hour long, and it's a whole thing about getting people building confidence for stroke survivors and doing speeches. And it's
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So there's a bunch of different programming on, and it's mixed in with music. And I have all genres on till I figure out what everybody really listens to.
That's great, buddy. So he mentioned, oh, Michael, go ahead.
Today at 12:30, which is 9:30, I guess your time, we had a aerobic exercise class. It was 50 minutes of cardio, and it was all on Zoom, and it is done by a recreational therapist down where Erica is from, Keith, Wilmington. So if anybody is interested in that, I was sweating. I was sweating before I got done. So it was, you know, they handle it for people in a wheelchair, or they handle it for people that can stand on their own. But it was a little bit of chair exercises and some exercises standing up and a lot of balance exercises. It was pretty good. It is a class that is adapted for stroke survivors only. And the gentleman paid the whole year for as many stroke survivors that wanted to come on the community center at Wilmington. So it's free. And anybody that's interested, I'll send Keith, I'll send you the link.
All right, Michael, and I'll get it out to everybody. Gabby, one of the things that we've got to, you know, I can't email a group like this usually. So what we'll try to do, if it's okay with you, is we'll get something put together on our SAO emails. Has everybody on the SAO email list here?
It's
Laurel's not.
Say, if not, put your email in the chat and I will add it.
If you'd like, we'd love that, because then we can communicate with you, and Michael's going to send this. Thank you, Michael. That's a great one too. I appreciate that.
Yeah, there were 9 of us today, and they were basically from here in Raleigh. It was all of us that know each other that were enjoying it. We went to backgammon class. Our backgammon played for 2 hours. Then we went to exercise class, and then we went to support group at 2. So we've had an active day.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And then I see Beth is going to speak for Dear Joyce Club. That's pretty cool.
Tomorrow, yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mhm.
Good for you, Beth. I'm glad.
Thank you.
That.
I can't wait. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
good.
Mhm.
So let's just keep the conversation going. This is awesome. I love this actually. Who's got something else they want to bring up? Steve Van Houten.
Well, another thing about the leg, I know we talked a lot about legs, but I went to my grandson's soccer match last week before last, and was sitting on the grass. And when I got up, I all of a sudden fell over. And fortunately, I was already close to the ground, so I didn't hurt myself. But what had happened was my left leg had fallen asleep. And because I have loss of sensation, I didn't know it. And so it is a problem that went away as soon as my leg woke up. But that can also be a thing that happens.
Wow. Good point. Very good point, because you lost the the feeling, right? And you didn't even know that it was
I
asleep.
didn't know.
I'm sorry.
Or if we sit too long, I know if I sit too long and then stand up and start walking, I can be very wobbly.
Yeah. Ralph.
Yeah, I want to throw something real positive in here. Some of you know that I was very frustrated with the first 6.5 years of my recovery of being on a cane and walker and all of that stuff. I got to tell you that, and I think this is part of the neuroplasticity stuff. I've been going to a water treadmill with my physical therapist, and we started on a land treadmill as well. But I don't mean to brag, and I don't want to sound self-centered, but I got off my cane in last October. Actually last March. Started the physical therapy last October, and I used to be on a water treadmill just holding on for dear life. Yesterday I attended, and I'm not doing this for attention, or I just want people to know.
Don't worry about it, buddy.
I just want people to know this. There's hope. Yesterday I did a 15.3 minute mile on the treadmill in the water.
Wow.
Whoa,
Yay.
I beat my old record by a
That
dollar.
is faster than me, Ralph.
Well, it's a water treadmill. It's a little easier than that. So what I'm saying is, everybody talks about recurring, and I agree with Keith. Just keep fighting. God darn it, we're our own best advocates. We're our own best therapists. I was determined to get better because I was so damn angry. You all have heard that before, but it can be done. And I think everybody needs to know that even if it doesn't come in big leaps like I have had in the last year, it does come. Just wanted to share it.
Thank you, Ralph. And here's the thing about Ralph. And really it's in all of us. We're all the same, especially those of us who are on these meetings and continue, because it's a fight. And, after we have our stroke, we all think that, well, I'm going to be better in a week. We all think that once we kind of wake up from the stroke, we think, okay, well, a month from now, I'll be the same as I was and all this. And, it's just a bunch of horse patooey. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. And after maybe some depression, maybe not, I'm not trying to put that in anybody's head, but you have to get to the point, as Jim was saying, and everybody, that you just determine yourself to get better, and you got to work at it. And then things are going to start changing. And that's why I profess that you got to keep track, because it's so easy to be at a certain point and not look. And if you don't look back, you think, oh, I'm not making any progress. That's baloney. You're going to be making progress, but you got to have something to go back and see once in a while to keep you motivated. So you guys are all fantastic people. I just love this group. Anyway, I'm sorry. Once in a while I jump on the thing too. Arnie, go ahead, buddy.
You know, Keith, one of the other things that came about after my stroke, my daughter has always been a fantastic illustrator. You know, she went to art school to try and learn how to illustrate, but she already was a fantastic illustrator. And she's just got a fabulous imagination. She always has since she was a kid. And I've been trying to encourage her to write her own children's book. And so every morning for the last month, I've been waking up and I've had all these thoughts in my head. So I ended up writing a children's book and I sent it to her, and now she's going to illustrate it.
How cool is that?
Arnie, that is so cool.
So I guess I got tired of waiting for her to write her own book, that all of a sudden one morning I woke up with all these ideas in my head, and I got up and started writing them down because I can't type with my left hand. And I sent it to her. I said, Kelsey, what do you think of this? She goes, Dad, there's my first book. I said, no, that's my first book. So I just thought it was kind of fun. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
That's awesome, man. Hey,
I also reached a point in my recovery, like Ralph was saying, that I didn't know what's next. You know, I'm done with my therapy. I'm done with this. I'm done with that. You know, I recovered probably 75 to 80% of where I was. You know, physically, I still got some work, but mentally, what's next for me? You know, what am I going to do next?
Love it.
Write another book.
So that just hit my mind. And so you never know what's going to happen, what opportunities are going to come up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, you just got to follow it.
Good for you. Good for you. Now, I'm going to take a minute here since we don't have, since Lara isn't going to make it and it's about 20 till. I want to make sure we don't miss anybody else. And so I want to kind of go around the room and just make sure everybody feels like they've gotten a chance here. Joyce, did you have anything to say? Whoop, you're muted.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
The Brain Exchange is an interactive tool that allows speaking and writing. And I want everybody to consider joining it because it's a phenomenal thing to speak and write and at will, and everybody should join. So
Okay.
if you're not busy at the times, if you're not busy then, join. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Joyce. That's great. Appreciate that. We'll get that probably. And if not, email me. I know you have before, but email me again, and I'll make sure it gets put on there. Alyssa, how are you doing, Hannah? Are you doing okay?
Sorry, I had to unmute myself. I'm doing good. I just, like Lauren, I'm a therapist, but my stroke happened on my left side of my brain, and so I'm not fortunate. But my right leg and right arm are like getting better, but like I know what she's talking about when she says her leg, because it's like it can walk, I can walk, but it's not normal walking. So it's like, yeah, that gets me. And my hand is working, but it's slower than usual.
Yeah. Well, hang in there and just continue to work at it. And you may want to join the young person's stroke meeting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're all younger as well. And, I haven't been to one for a while, but I've talked to, them a lot. And so I know it's going good, but you might want to join just so you
Can
have that.
Gabby connect Alyssa with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Let's keep going. Michelle, do you want to say anything today? No?
But she did post something in the chat, which I think is quite.
I hate talking, you know that.
I know.
I posted in the chat what I'm working on my post for Stroke Awareness Month next year. So I think that's what Lana was talking about. Like if you get a cold, your stroke symptoms will get worse, probably.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. I just learned about this.
Oh, Michelle, and I think that's something people aren't aware of. So
yeah, I
thank
mean,
you for.
I've never heard of this.
Mhm.
I didn't write that, by the way. Somebody wrote it for me.
Well, I'm going to read that post real quick. I don't know if everybody can see it, but basically, she's saying post-stroke recrudescence. Wow. Hey, high five on that one.
I could never say
that. The symptoms from the previous stroke come back. Sometimes stroke recrudescence can have a trigger. For example, an illness, lack of sleep, or stress can trigger a post-stroke recrudescence. If a patient has a history of stroke and symptoms were previously mild or recovered from, but now show up to the emergency department with the same symptoms, but now they are worse, this warrants the stroke team to still do brain imaging to make sure there are no new strokes. If there is no new strokes, then the stroke team investigates what possibly triggered the symptoms. That's a great point, because so many people I talk to, and even those who have mild stroke, what do they call that again?
TIA.
Thank you guys, TIA. And they go in, and then you know what? A stroke could be right around the corner. They've got to be aware of that. So anyway, thank you for that, Michelle. Deborah, you're up if you want to say anything.
I guess I'd just like to say that I appreciate you continue to remind us to write things down, to keep a journal. And I do that sometimes. I'm not as faithful as I probably should be. But I do want to say that my daughter took me out walking along the river, and it was really interesting. I don't often think about, for me, my recovery hasn't gone as quickly as I would like to. I'm the kind of girl who needs results immediately. So these years of waiting have been a challenge sometimes. But I noticed when I was out walking with her, we went there about a year ago, and I got winded when I was walking. And I noticed this time I didn't get winded, and we went farther. And so there is progress. And it's important for me to always to continue to remind myself and to focus on, yep, there's progress, and to keep being diligent about my exercises and my yoga and stuff like that I try and do.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It was really good, because progress, man. And we all, as humans, we all get so focused on the next thing, we forget sometimes to think about what progress we've actually made in our life. And that's beside the stroke. So then when you have a stroke, you really need to look at that to keep yourself motivated. Great job. Pam, do you want to say anything? I don't know. We can't hear her.
I think it's Norm.
Yeah.
It's Norm, not Pam. Pam was.
Well, no, Pam is up in the center of the screen for me. Let's keep going. Michael, you got anything, buddy, you want to talk about?
No, not really.
Okay, you already have. John DeBell, hey buddy, what's going on with you? How are you doing?
Very well, actually. I missed last time because I was in Boston visiting relatives doing my first trip since my stroke.
Wow.
And the traveling part went great. Bad news is I got exposed, I think, when I was in Boston to a relative who later tested with COVID. So I'm home with COVID right now.
Oh,
But the
Same
antiviral when you're an
Jimmy.
old guy is amazing stuff. So yeah, I'm on my last day of my 5 days of antiviral, and it's like a bad cold at this point.
oh, good.
But yeah, the traveling was awesome. I could scream at TSA, but there I got help to the gate. That, oh my God, is that the way to go? So they're wheeling me out. I'm pushing my four-wheeled walker in front of me. We get to TSA. And the fact that you're there with a walker right over the guy's head. Okay, we'll put your walker over there, and you come through here. Okay, I can hobble that far. Okay, can I have my walker back? No, I have to test this baby stroller that's testing for explosive. 10 or 15 minutes later, I'm the kind of guy who's had, do we need to call security, sir? Because I don't like that bullshit authority they think they have. And I'm very nicely going, I really, really need that to either stand and lean against or sit on or get me a fucking chair, because this is longer than I can stand. And the guy was just a complete brat about it. And I never, I ended up just sort of leaning into the partition. And yeah, it wasn't that part could have had a cow. But otherwise, the trip went really smoothly. Getting on the plane first, I flew JetBlue, so you get to actually pick your seat. So I picked a window and I put my butt in the chair, and I waited until everybody else got on, and then I waited until half the people got off. And yeah, I didn't have to disturb anybody, and it was awesome.
Awesome. All right,
well,
real quick. So I've got Arnie and Lane and Jim's wanting to say something too. And I just wanted to say, but no one knows, get used to it. I mean, that's where we're all right.
Yeah.
So Arnie, go.
Keith, I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but after my therapy and I was able to be able to walk without a cane or without a cane, I noticed that I've been very, very conscientious about how fast I walk or how slow I walk. And I've caught myself in malls or in stores kind of pacing people. I would get up alongside of them and I would walk with them to see how fast they're walking. And and this past week I was shopping at a store with my wife, and all of a sudden this guy goes, "Sir, can I help you?" And I said, "No, I'm sorry. And I had to go through the whole explanation of why I was doing this. And my wife, Debbie, just went, "Oh my God." And but I didn't know how. I always thought I was walking too slow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out, I'm still trying to figure out things, even 3.5 years after my stroke.
That's right. But Lane, go.
Okay, I'm going to point the finger at Jim Patterson because I know he had a little victory last week, that I think he should share with us.
Awesome.
Oh, okay. Does that mean you're doing the congressional thing and allowing me your time, Lane?
I think it is. I gave you my 2 minutes.
Okay. First thing I wanted to say was I sure am glad John DeBell didn't make an ass of himself. So what Lane is referring to is this week I had the great honor of representing Stroke Awareness Oregon at the Oregon Stroke Network Conference, which was held in Salem at the Salem Conference Center. I attended the conference. I arrived at the conference on Thursday evening. Now here's the victory. This is the first time that I have traveled by myself without my wife, who's my caregiver. I drove from my home to Salem, which is about an hour and 20-minute drive. I stressed out about checking into the hotel, finding a parking place underground.
Wow.
Hotel. I did all that, pre-event stuff in my mind and had myself all worked up into a tizzy. And then I actually, slapped myself around and said, hold on a second, practice the positivity, not the negativity. And got in my car, made the drive, arrived at the hotel, was able to unload all of my luggage and everything I had, put it on a cart, took it up to the room that I checked into, was able to get back downstairs to the conference area, set up my exhibit table, and interact with a bunch of doctors and nurses about stroke. And spent the next day, Friday, doing the same thing. My alarm went off at 5:45 in the morning. I got up out of bed, was able to shower and shave and get myself presentable so that I could be a part of the conference. And this was my maiden voyage without my caregiver, making sure I took my medicine and, did everything that I used to be able to do. And my goodness, when that was over, I have to say, I took an inventory of the time and all of the things that I was able to navigate, including pacing people in the hall, Arnie, and just put myself in a place where I made the conscious choice of practicing the power of positivity.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it was one of the great blessings of my recovery, because this is why we work so hard, folks. We work so hard because there is a better quality of life that lies ahead. It's all about our pursuit and the journey. And we've got to stay focused on the positive, and we've got to eliminate negativity. That negativity takes us to places that we don't want to go, and it creates setbacks in our life. And we've got to focus on being positive and looking at and celebrating all those small victories that we have as a part of our recovery, because a better quality of life is out there for us for the taking.
Absolutely. Right on, buddy. Good job. Appreciate it so much. Steve Van Houten, I'm going to come back to you in a minute. And Michael, I want to make sure
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure we give everybody the chance.
I was thinking Jim.
Yeah, Jim, great, bud. I appreciate that very much. That was right on the money. And man, I just love it. It's not the negativity that we all have because of our situation and the people, and even we experienced that earlier today. You know what? He's right on the money, and having that positive outlook. And the other thing, Jim, is you did it, right? I mean, it was something that was a little fearful. You hadn't done it yet. And then you went and you did it, and now right, buddy?
No question about it. It is, it's kind of like the lottery. You can't win if you don't play.
Yeah, that's a great point.
In stroke recovery, the better quality of life that's out there for the taking is not within reach if we don't make the effort to go get it. We've got to understand there is a great deal of vulnerability in our life that we need to be willing to accept. And there is a great deal of risk that we take when we do things. I was petrified when I drove down into that underground parking lot, because it's dark, there's lots of cars, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And yet I stopped the car on the ramp going down into that dark hole. And I said to myself, okay, you've been down a dark hole before. How did you get out of it?
Awesome.
And part of it was I learned some breathing techniques. I focused on the positive things in my journey, the fact that I had arrived to that deep, dark hole without running into anybody or hurting anyone. I had reached my destination, and that was a win.
Absolutely, bud. Great, 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 great job. I'm proud of you for what you did there, and I'm proud that you represented everybody and all of us in that meeting. It was awesome. And Lonnie, I know
I have one really quick comment I just need to share. I'm bubbling over. I got an email today from UC San Francisco, their neuro hospital, addressed to me at Stroke Awareness Oregon, saying, we love what you're doing. Would you mind if we put stroke support group information and your other information in our discharge packages?
Oh man.
Can you believe I got that, Keith? I've shared it with you.
I know.
And so that made me, I was so excited because there's more people we can help.
Absolutely. And that's awesome.
UC San Francisco, amazing.
There's a lot of good neuro work coming out of there.
What? Say that again, Evan?
There's a lot of good neuro work coming out of UCSF. I went through there myself. It's really great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
this
that's
was
awesome.
From their, yeah.
And that says a lot, Lonnie, about who you are and the people that you know too, frankly. And I know you were going to do that, but we all know it, and we're proud of you. So, and then real quick. So here's what we're going to do. Steve Van Houten had his hand up. I want to go there real quick, but then I'm going to come back and I want to talk to Beth, and I want to talk to Mark Brody and Rebecca and Laurel. And we got it, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. So if you can, let's keep it short, Steve.
Okay, I will. 30 seconds. I just want to do a quick plug for peer-to-peer support. For those of us who are asking the question, all right, I finished the hospital, I finished therapy, or I'm in the middle of therapy. Now what? Where is my quality of life? What are the things that I really care about that I want to work on? You can talk about that one-on-one, because that's the best way to do it instead of groups. You can talk one-on-one with a peer supporter. There's 6 of us. We've all had strokes. We have a methodology to help you build a plan of action with a time frame and develop techniques to accomplish whatever the goal is that you have. But you're the one that has to define what you want. Nobody else can. You're the one.
Love it.
That's it.
Love it. Thank you, Steve. And
Can I add on to that just a little bit?
who said something?
Gabby, can I add on to that just a little bit?
Gabby. Yeah, go ahead, Gabby.
So with peer-to-peer, if you are wanting to become a peer supporter, we're definitely looking for peer supporters also. And then if you're wanting to join the program as a peer, we are going to be starting that October 1st. So depending on what you would like to do, our program is just getting started. And so we're really excited.
Awesome. Thank you. Also, I wanted to just mention, where'd he go? I lost him. Ron, where's Ron at? Did he just bail? Oh, I was going to make sure I gave him some time too. So let's keep going. Mark, what's on your mind, buddy? Mark.
Yeah, nothing very much. I've missed the recent meetings, but hopefully we'll be able to make them regularly. The only thing I would say, just in this similar way, so I have very mild aphasia, but usually it's not really noticeable. And so to me, my speech isn't really noticeably improving from the level that it was after my therapy. But I recently met somebody who I hadn't talked with for quite a while, and she said that my speech to her sounded much more fluent than the last time that I had spoken to her. So it's I think it is definitely continuing to improve it. I just don't notice it day to day, but it continues to improve
I love that. I love that story.
Continue.
That's a great story. That's a great point. Because a lot of times, like we've talked about many times here, a lot of us, we're not thinking about it. And then it takes either somebody else or something. But wasn't that motivational for you, Mark?
Well, I mean, I'm not really in therapy. I'm not practicing my speech in any way except for speaking.
But internally,
so
wasn't it?
It certainly encourages me or validates. It was great. I mean, obviously, it was. I don't feel that I need to work on my speech. It's sort of good enough for what I need in my life. I think it's just spontaneously improving. Just as I practice, as you speak, you're practicing your speech. And I certainly stumble over words, and but I just ignore that basically.
Mark, we all do.
Most times people can understand what I mean, even if I can't say a particular word in context. They know what I mean, so it's fine. I'm very happy.
Oh, good, bud.
Mark, you sound very good.
Yeah, you do. You do. Rebecca Dirk, got any comments for us?
Just it's been very encouraging on learning how to that I need to have more patience with myself and being more positive, because last week I wanted to take somebody's head off.
Yeah.
I mean, I was mad, and I went into my doctor's office. I said, I'm not leaving until I get some answers. So I need to have a bit more patience with myself. I've lost my singing voice a little bit. I don't have the volume, and so my speech is not where I want it to be. But what's great is when I talk to friends who I haven't talked to for a while or I haven't seen for a while, they say, you look so much better. You sound so much better. Every time I hear that. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, I'm just trying to be more grateful and not take anybody's head off this week. So
well, that sounds like a good goal. No, it's encouraging, isn't it, Rebecca? Yeah. And keep fighting. Just keep doing it, and you're getting better all the time. And I'm excited for you. Things are going to be great. We all go through the crap. And we wonder if it'll ever get better, but it certainly does. And so, Laurel, you're up, hon.
Just wanted to say goodbye to everybody. I've got to jump off because I've got a client in a couple of minutes. But the one thing that was surprising is that I will probably never be able to hop or skip again. Who knew? But that is so weird. I was like, what? I can't hop and I can't skip. But you know what? I can walk, and so that's all I care about. And I can talk pretty good. Okay. And but hopping and skipping, who knew? So
you might get that back.
I don't know. I've been trying, but they said it's one of those coordination things that probably may never happen. Yeah, my grandson's like, hop over here, Grandma. I'm like, yeah, honey.
But one second, Laurel, before you go, and Mark just said it. Do not give up on that, and do not let the docs or anybody tell you different. Okay, you post that, you put it somewhere, you keep working at it. You promise me you're going to do that.
Thanks, guys. This means a lot to me. I'm so glad I found you guys. Okay.
Good.
Take care.
Good. Beth.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Beth,
Bye.
You're up, honey.
Bye. Well, I just wanted to say I am so grateful for all the laughter. Because I feel, can you all hear me?
Yeah.
I feel like laughter is really powerful. It's really healing. And so, what happened to all of us is very grim and serious. So it's like, wow, laughter is a good thing. Okay, besides that, I'll try to go quick. I have two other things to say. Related to the guy who left, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. But I was going to talk about anger and sensitivity, because, I before my stroke, I was very angry and very sensitive. And after my stroke, I was worse. So that, really uncontrollable anger and uncontrollable sensitivity. It was like I was beyond ferocious. I always called myself ferocious, but actually I was worse. But related to the sensitivity, I just want to say plateau. The word plateau, I mean, I know we talked about this, but really it's not a word that should really even be in our vocabulary. It really, I think insurance companies love that word, but we know, like, for example, if someone saw me, they would say, oh, I've definitely plateaued. But I go in the bathroom and I do things in there I haven't done before. I'll spare the details. And I know I haven't plateaued. I know it. I mean, and that's really all we need is for us to know. It's hard to hear other people say it about us, but we have to just say, well, I wouldn't say it, but we just have to ignore it and just live our lives as we know, our essence knows it.
Yeah.
That's all.
Great.
Perfect.
That was
Excellent.
very good. Very good. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let people know. I'm gonna have Rebecca talk for a second. I'm gonna tell people about Ralph's stuff, and then we're gonna have to go. But next time, I want to talk to Andre. I want to talk to Janice. I want to make sure that everybody gets a chance. And next meeting, we're open as well because I don't have somebody scheduled. And this is great. So anyway, in lack of time here, Rebecca, go ahead. Did you have anything to say?
I think I'm good. I do want to ask if anybody else has had trouble with, like, I've lost my taste and eating has been really difficult. Like, I was very nauseous. That's kind of gone away, but I still have every time I eat anything, everything tastes horrible. Happened to anyone else, or has it happened to anyone else?
Alyssa's saying yes. Anybody else notice that?
Only when I had COVID.
COVID, yeah. Alyssa noticed it. Do you want to make a remark, Alyssa?
Yeah, I have. It's like I don't fully taste the food because the right half of my tongue is like kind of when they numb it and it's tingly. It feels like that. It's gotten better, like less tingly. But there's only certain foods that I like now.
It's difficult because I can't. I have a bad taste in my mouth too, and nothing tastes normal.
Yep.
I'm sure it'll get better.
Yeah.
We just missed something in the chat.
Well, so Gabby is probably on top. Are you, Gabby? Yeah, Gabby's on top of that. Which, by the way, everybody, let's all give Gabby a round of applause because it's so nice to have somebody who comes on here and helps us. And she's done that, and we all appreciate you so much, Gabby. Evan, I want to talk more to you too, but you guys, in the amount of time here, we're over, and I like to keep it fairly concise because it's important for all of us to do that. So I want to give Ralph a chance to talk a little bit about the men's club, and then we're gonna call it quits today.
Okay, real quick. We've unfortunately had to drop the in-person meeting on the third Wednesday of the month in Bend, but the Zoom meeting will continue the second Wednesday of every month at 4 p.m. The Zoom attachment is available through the website, I believe, and we also send out notices. If you haven't been getting the notices, let Gabby or me know, and I'd be happy to get them out to you. The men's club is awesome. We talk about anything and everything. I will not share names of who's in the meetings, I won't share anything about what's talked about. And we actually encourage people not to even have their spouses in the room because we want to be able to talk stuff as much as they can. So it's a good meeting and it's starting to really build up. So please.
Ralph, if I give you somebody's email, can you put him on the list to email it out to?
Of course. Be happy to.
Put it in chat.
Okay, real quick, one more thing here too. Does anybody have what we call a stroke anniversary in September? Anybody else? I had mine in September. No others? No. All right. Well, I was hoping to have some friends.
You have a whole room
October
of
for
them,
me.
Keith. Everybody here.
Yeah. Well, listen, I so appreciate every person on here. And I know that, like Arnie was saying, and you know, and Steve was saying, and all of you, you know, it can get frustrating. And of course, but you know, we just got to keep swinging, man. We got to keep after it. We got to keep going. And I was asked the other day, you had a stroke? I mean, and you know what? I believe it's because I just made my mind up after I lost the job and all this stuff that happened. And I went through a few years of hell, honestly. But then I just decided I am going to get better and I'm going to keep working at it. Am I, you know, will I ever get there? No. And none of you will, but keep going until the end. Just put it in your mind. And I'm so happy to know all of you, and I appreciate each and every one of you so much. So with that said, have a fantastic rest of the day, and we'll see you all in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alyssa, did you have an email sent over to Ralph, or do you?
I have her email. I'll email her.
Okay.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'll take care of it. Thanks.
And Janice, there's her phone number.
I've written down all the phone numbers and emails that everybody put in the chat, and I'm gonna email it to myself. Do you want me to include you in that email?
Would you please, Gabby?
Of course.
Yeah, and that way I can make sure I reaching out to everybody. So, all right. Well, thanks so much.